Hello, this is Paula. Welcome to my channel. We are looking at the volume 6 Make It From Your Heart book from Close to My Heart, and this is pattern 5, which is a single page pattern, and it's got some really fun little designs in it. It's really taking on the fact of a square geometric repetition. You've got some little squares up the top, you've got a little square grid style layout in here with 4 3x3 photos sitting inside. So it is quite a fun design for a geometric page. Now I thought it would be quite neat to try a different shape on this pattern. So instead of going for the squares, I thought we might take on hearts. Given that it's getting close to Valentine's, close to anniversaries, and also we've been spending lots of fun times with families, I thought this could be a really cool layout to take on. Now I might make this into a double, so I'm going to start with 2 white pieces of cardstock as my base. I always like to start with something a little bit neutral. I can change it up as we go. Now in the pattern you'll notice it's got a lovely little frame to it, so I may pull in a framing at the end just to sort of define the page itself. I also note that they've put the title near the top on the left hand side or on the single page side. You put all the geometric shapes and then you put your title, so we'll see if that works for what I end up doing as well. Now I did go to my Cricut and look at some heart shapes, and I've just cut out a few different ones. So I've got cut out one in scarlet, which is a nice deep red. I've cut out some in peach, and this time I cut it with a little bit of a open heart as well. And then I also cut one in Seabrook. Just thinking those are quite nice shades, depending on whether I go light, whether I pull in a true red, or whether I do some sort of combination. So when you look at the pattern, you can see they've got one main area here and then some small shapes further up. So I'm thinking that I could use my big heart as the main area, and then I can bring in some smaller hearts across to the side. So I have gone through my stash and found some different thin cuts which could be used. So I've got some little hearts here, and I have actually got a little bit of scraps left over from the gorgeous Love Note collection that's out at the moment. So we've got this piece here that's got a little bit of the peach on one side and a little bit of mink design on the other. I've got some zip strips, and I've got a few fun sort of hearty shaped things here too, which I can possibly play with. There's not much left though. I'm quite loving this collection. So I'm thinking I might take this away and cut out some hearts from there. Now also, because I don't have a lot of paper, I thought I might pull in our Irresistible paper. So we've got this Irresistible, and I don't know if you can catch it in the light, but this one's got little hearts all over it. So I could even have used these as the background and did my sponging straight on there, but I'm thinking I might just cut out some heart shapes and sponge over them, and maybe Seabrook or peach or some light shade as well, just to give me some more options with my patterned paper. So I'm going to go away, do that, and I will come back to you shortly. So here's all my collection of little hearts that I've cut out. So as I said, I cut out some from the Irresistibles paper and then just pulled in my Seabrook ink with a blending brush and just put on a little bit of colour. Just to make a few options, I've cut out the larger hearts in both the peach and in that mink little design. So that's nice light colours. And in fact, the hearts I'll be using, the ones that I've had in my stash forever, but it cuts out an inside heart, but then it also cuts out this little shape as well, which is kind of like your little outlined heart. So I thought they might be useful too, which mirrors what I had done on the Cricut. So the next stage now is to see how this might lay out across the page, and whether I want all these colours or whether I want to just go with the soft pastels. So I'm not quite convinced about that yet, but let's just do some arranging. I push those little hearts to the side, I'm feeling like we're going to have our little hearts, big hearts, and then little hearts, which would be in fitting with the pattern itself that we are following. So I'm guessing I could do something a little bit like this through the center, and then I'm going to pull in some of these little hearts across to the side. If I pull in a few of these more solid ones, then I can dot around these more open ones as well and tuck them in to see how it might all fit. So this is looking kind of cute. I can see how it might work. Pull in maybe a little one up here, be another little one down here. and a big open heart. So we've got quite a bit going on, and I know I'm going to probably pull this apart and play with it again, but it's just giving you the idea of how I can do that cascading effect all the way through, still in keeping with our original pattern of having our small pieces up the top, our big piece in the middle, and then because I'm making a double, I'm replicating with the small pieces down the bottom the other side. Now, the other thing I wanted to do was obviously have a place for photos. And I'm not going to cut photos into heart shape. I actually just prefer to keep my photos more solid. So I've pulled in Mink here, and I'm thinking that a strip across the middle might just work fine. So I might just trim this down a little bit, maybe so it's like 11.5 inches wide, maybe slightly less still. I'll bring my little hearts on the outside of all this, obviously, when we're done. And then I can pull in my photos. So I like to do a 4-inch sort of cut. I might cut this little photo mat down slightly so I can get a little mat. But that way I can put in some 4x4s. I'll just get that in the right spot. And I can pull in a 3x4 too if I wish to, and do the same thing all the way across. So that will give me quite a few photos in the area if I wish to go that many, but I can still see my heart shapes going on all around. So I'm liking that, and I'm also liking the thought of maybe bringing in either Mink or a more solid colour in the background, so that you can probably not see that. I'll pull this up here, so that I have that bit of framing as well, which would be really nice. But the last thing I'm seeing here is that it's very white, and because I have actually opted to go for the lighter shades, it's very pastel and white, which means it could be a really lovely layout also for our little cats. Some cute photos of our cats that we have been taking over summer. I could enjoy doing that. But what I want to do now is do a little background treatment to this paper so it doesn't look quite so stark. So I've been through all of my stash, and I have found this lovely stencil, which is from the Skylark collection. So I'm going to show you how that effect comes together in a minute. So here you can see the different effects the stencil has done on the backdrop. I've just used Mink, just so there's a nice soft colour. And then when we pull our colours back in, we're just going to have that nice little bit of interest going on the page, as well as, obviously, our little hearts theme all the way through. So if I just pop a few of these up here and I pop a few of them down there and pop this along, you'll kind of see how it works out. Like that. So I'm really enjoying having this kind of idea of a pattern through, changing it up with a few of our beautiful hearts and making it into something a lot softer. So I'm just going to go off and adhere this, and then let's see about what we're going to do for a title and a few other fun little embellishments. So I pulled in the die cut titles in craft, and I have pulled in some lovely little embellishments, some sparkles and some white dots. Thanks for joining me crafting today.